Oh boy, do I have a treat for you today. Buckle up, because this is going to be a ride. I was clearing out some stuff and I have found these from God knows how many years ago, and I thought it would be an interesting video to say the least if we go through it and see what's inside. And quite honestly, I'm a little bit scared because I read through a couple of pages this other day and it was a disaster. So let's go. So the first issue, your first fancy rat. Singular. This is an issue. We've not even opened it and we've got an issue. Oh God, why did I do this to myself? Right. Okay, fair enough. We're just gonna go for it. So it starts with an introduction talking about like the history and everything like that. I'm going to skip that part. I just want to talk about care, so I want to see what they're saying for care, and probably hating every word of it. So yeah, oh wow, okay, so where do we start on this? There was a bit that I read. Here we go. How to choose your pet. Before buying your rat from a pet shop, look carefully around the store. No mention of breeders, you just go to a pet shop and you just get your singular rat. Let's move on. It's actually alright that it is saying no rat kitten should be sold under the age of 6 weeks, which is the minimum age. So it's got that right. 6 weeks is the absolute minimum for homing kittens. So, you know, I feel like we're 1-1 here versus, you know, what's good, what's bad. How many rats? It is perfectly acceptable to have a single rat as a pet, but then you must take the place of its companion. A lonely rat can be an unhappy rat. If you want a happy and contented pet, buy 2, but make sure you get 2 of the same sex unless you want to breed. There is so much wrong with these sentences. No, it is not acceptable to have a lone rat. That's a video entirely to itself. So we're just going to leave it like that. No, not acceptable. You cannot replace it as a companion, I'm afraid. You know, you can't groom it, you can't talk rat to it. Again, that's another video, so no. The fact that it says here, like, buy 2 rats, but make sure you get 2 of the same sex, unless you want to breed. Like, this is talking about your first pet. And it says, you know, unless you want to breed. Is it your first pet? Sure, do you want to breed? Just get 1 of each sex, don't worry about it. And then, of course, that's even more disturbing to think that it's like, yeah, just 1 of each sex. You're going to have them living together and they're just going, oh. Let's move on. Good God. So then it's basically saying, it's talking about what sex, and also giving kind of rough weights, which, you know, I think varies. This says that the average buck lives for about 2 to 2.25 years, and a doe can live up to 2.5, although some of either sex can live to 3.5. So I will say that bucks do tend to have a slightly shorter lifespan. 2 to 2.5 is an average. You can get slightly over 2. I mean, 3. If you reach 3, it's amazing. So that's, you know, it's not completely wrong information there. That's okay information. Then it talks about variety. Now, I find this interesting. It's got a bit on variety because it's literally just said when you go to the pet shop. So you're just getting what the pet shop has. Okay, but it just says, this is a matter of personal taste. There's many different colours and markings in fancy rats, not to mention all the crossbreeds. God, this book is killing me here. Yeah, let's move on. Let us move on, my God. Oh, we're into caging, and I mean, What's that? What is that? Look at the size of that wheel. Like, not even taking into anything else in this book, but oh my god. It is important to buy the right cage for your rats. Make sure that it's big enough to house the rats and their toys. Oh, I honestly don't think I'm even going to get onto this book today. I literally think I'm just going to lose my... this one. Right, so it's telling you that the cage should have sufficient width and length to allow the rat free movement, good area of floor space. So basically, they're telling you that the minimum size for a pair of rats is 60, 30, 30. Do you know what? I feel like just reading a measurement doesn't say it, like doesn't bring an image to your head. So when I edit this, I'm going to include a picture of a cage that's like roughly that size so that you can get an image in your head, because I'm the same. So I will put an image here that will show roughly, and I feel like it's going to be some sort of hamster cage that I'm going to find that is of this size. Okay. So this tells you that the ideal cage has a base of hard plastic or metal. Wire mesh or bars make up the main body, with glass or clear plastic forming one wall or part of one wall. I mean, this is essentially going to tell you that, oh god, it does. You can also use an aquarium tank fitted with a sturdy wire lid. Weigh it down so it can't be pushed off. Oh, good God. Why am I doing this to myself? Why? Honestly, why? I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. The best floor covering is wood shavings or sawdust. Peat or cat litter is sometimes used, but not ideal, and can make the rats very dirty. I mean, he's got one bit right here. It says never use newspaper or printed paper in the cage as the print is toxic. Now, first of all, let's remember how old this book is. It probably was toxic back when this book was written, but now inks, like newspaper ink, is not toxic. It's not going to kill your rat if you give it newspaper. Yes, it will shred it very fast. I mean, they'll enjoy it, but it's not going to kill them. But I mean, this book just states that they'll tear it up and they'll soil it, which is true. The best bedding is shredded paper, preferably packaged and premedicated? I don't know. What? I don't understand. It also apparently says that fresh hay helps to improve the coat, acting as some sort of comb when they roll on it, and also provides a source of roughage in the diet. Okay. Now, again, bear in mind that this is, like, you know, aimed at your first pet rat, so you would assume it's going to be like a house pet. And I mean, it's talking about a bit here about what temperature the cage should be at, and it says that many fanciers keep their rats in an outbuilding known as a rattery. Should be clean, dry and well ventilated. Heating's not necessary unless you live in a cold area. I mean, people that follow my channel, I keep mine in a purpose-built shed. So, I mean, that's not wrong. You can do it. They do well in lower temperatures. It's saying that the optimum temperature for rats is 15 to 19 degrees C. I would say, I mean, I would argue that it could be lower than that. 15 to 19 is going to be fine, but I would argue that they could live lower, and mine being outside definitely live at lower temperatures. Exercise and toys. I feel I'm going to find a bit in here about exercise balls. Oh dear. So it's telling you can buy like thick bird perches. That's good. Use branches. That's good, although it doesn't specify what kind of branches, although it does tell you to make sure that they're very clean, so points for that. Make small swings and platforms from chipboard and fix them to the bars. I wouldn't recommend chipboard, but you know. Metal bird ladders can also be used. Now here we go. Avoid exercise wheels as most are too small for a rat, which could trap its tails in the spokes. Right, again, let's think back to how old this book is. Actually, I probably should have checked the date of this book. So bear in mind, this is from 1996, there we go. So bear in mind that Tic Tacs weren't invented. Most fuels were those wire ones, so this makes sense. The rat is going to get its tail caught. It's suggesting that other toys can be empty jam jars or a tin can with all the sharp metal pieces removed. No. Rats also like pushing around small balls such as marbles. Avoid purpose-made plastic toys, the rats will chew them quickly. Right, you better throw out your Sputniks, everyone, because they're not allowed. Rats love chewing cardboard tubes, that's true. And young rats like running out of them, that's also fair. Give your rats a small block of smooth wood and replace it when it's been chewed. Now would you like to learn about the maintenance of your pet? Tidy the cage daily, removing any perishable food and clearing away the droppings. Well, I mean, that's one surefire way to make them scent more and make them smell more. I mean, you shouldn't be feeding them so much food that they are leaving it. You know, you should be feeding them enough that they eat it within a 24-hour period, so there shouldn't be any perishable food left. Clean out the cage once a week. That's too much. That's going to, again, encourage them to rescent it, so no. Every 3 months, thoroughly wash and disinfect the cage using diluted disinfectant. I mean, that's a fair enough point. Like, people forget when they clean a cage that you need to clean down the bars as well, because rats obviously walk and pee and poop, and then they jump on the bars and they're gripping the bars, and it's going all over that as well. So I would say that's quite a good point. Every 3 months as a rough estimate. Actually, like, wash down all of the cage. Ideally, I would just do it when you're doing your cage clean anyway, because you might as well. But yes, that's a good point. Like, we're not even halfway through and I'm in this like 15 minutes. Oh my god. I genuinely just don't know how much of this like I can cut out. I don't want this to be a gigantic video. I mean, to be fair, we go into talking about like varieties and the rats growing and stuff at the end, which I don't need to talk about and showing. So I think I'll just do these like next 4 pages and then we'll call it quits with that. And then this one, whew, this is going to be a whole nother video. Yeah. So, now we're on to the diet. I feel like this is going to be terrible already. Avoid hamster mix. This is to make sunflower seeds and peanuts. Right, do you know what? The book's getting credit for this. Mono diets are not good for rats. They're uninteresting. Many rats become bored with them. Variety in the rat's diet is important. I like that. That's good. You get so much praise for that book. Amazing. The thing is, it doesn't actually tell you what is a good diet. It suggests to you what a healthy diet includes, but it's not really actually breaking it down for you. So you could, who knows how somebody could take this. A healthy diet includes wholemeal bread, non-sugar breakfast cereals, some dog biscuits, cooked potato, rice, table scraps such as vegetables and spaghetti. I like that it tells you that they like chewing meat off the bones and it's good for them to get into the marrow. Points for that. It does talk about vegetables. And it does warn you not to give too many because it will cause diarrhea, and it does suggest to you some vegetables that you can give them, so I mean that's good. So yeah, got a little bit of points to be fair. It's telling you to buy supplements for your rat, and again, it's not specifically telling you which ones you need. It just says pet shops sell vitamins and supplements, and there is no harm in adding some to your rat's diets. Although this should not be necessary if the rat is fed correctly. I mean, how can you feed it correctly when you've basically said, don't buy hamster food, feed it wholemeal bread and cereal? Again, I like that this tells you to sprinkle the dry food around the cage because it's natural for rats to scratch around for food. So you get bonus points for that. Although you are talking about putting some stuff in a bowl. I don't think rats need bowls. Unless it's a bowl of water, they like splashing in that. You don't need to put food in a bowl though, it's good for something to search around. Then it goes on to talk about like when you first bring it home. Just saying that it could be stressed, being parted from its litter mates, taken to a new home. You have to bring it straight home, place it in the cage with some food and water and leave it alone for a few hours. See, with a pet shop rat, like, yes, I would say that's true because they're kind of traumatised anyway. But when people get rats from me as a breeder, you know, that's quite a common question. When can I play with them? And I'll be like, well, play with them when we get home. Just play with them if you want. Like, they're fine, you can play with them. Then it starts telling you about taming and training. I'm not going to go through that a little bit. It's just telling you to like get them to trust you and use food. Obviously, if you're getting from a breeder, you don't need to do this. They are tame, they are trusting, they want to play with you. It's suggesting that you sit down to handle a new rat in case it jumps from your hand. To be honest, that is a good bit of advice because even a well-bred rat can get a fright and of course then leap in fear. So it can happen. So yeah, sitting down when holding your pet, that's very good advice. It basically just goes in a little bit more detail about as it gets tamer where you can let it run around. Warns you to chew electrical cables. We all know about that. We've all had something destroyed that we liked. And I like that it's telling you that they can be taught tricks. So the key to teaching your rat to perform a trick is twofold: patience and food. And it completely is. So it gets bonus points for telling you that they're very clever. So the next part of the book just goes on to showing. I'm not going to look through that. It was more I wanted to see what they were saying about getting a rat, taking care of a rat, housing it. I'm a bit scared as to what cage I'm going to find for the dimensions that they've said, but yeah, it's interesting. There's a bit in the back about health. Okay, they're trying that rats have colds because there's a bit here saying colds. I don't get colds. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm done with this book. I don't think I can do anything else with this book. Yeah. Very nice little bit at the end there on health saying tumours. Unfortunately, rats are susceptible to tumours. I would say that's true for pet shop rats. Not well bred ones, of course they do still happen, but nothing like what, I mean, this personal experience I rescued for about 15-20 years. I had so many tumours, and in my bred rats I have personally had one with a tumour, and 2 of my pet homes had like rats with tumours. So that's really nothing compared to like what I had for years with rescues. Wow, this was a ride. I hope you enjoyed that. And do you know what? Let me know if you want me to do the same with this one. This video is already about 20 minutes, even when I chop bits out of it, so I'm not going to tack this one on. But if you want me to delve into the depth of the past and chat about that, let me know down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.